Two.
Come on, bro. You know it only happens after dark.
Welcome back to the After Dark podcast. I want to shout out all the mamas out there. We weren't able to tell you Happy Mother's Day. I know there's a bunch of moms out there, even the single mamas. You know the I'm not telling the real daddy whose kid it is, mamas. We got the regular mamas. We got the housewives. All moms deserve love. So we shouting you out. The After Dark podcast got you, boy. We love you, moms. I love you to my mom specifically. Sterling, you better tell your mom you love her.
I do love my mom. It was very nice to see her this past week. It was the first time I've seen her in 5 months. Super blessed to be able to see her and just have a nice, brought a lot of family together this past Saturday. Had some fish, had some, good old Southern, high sodium, high blood pressure type food, black folks. Good time though. Was a pleasure, and I could see the happiness on my mom's face, and that's what made it for me. So, how was your Mother's Day, man?
It was good, man. Mom came through. We got a little food at a restaurant. Gave her a few roses. Bought her like 4 or 5 plants that she wanted to have and whatnot. So we got her that, and she was always happy. Being out the house. Just like you said, it's just good to see everyone have the family together. So she always just loves that. So, but for anyone out there, make sure if you didn't, your mom probably pissed.
You're late.
You're late. But it's never too late to tell your mom you love her. You should be doing it every day. Yep. All right?
Yep. If you have the ability to do so, definitely do it. Don't take either one of your parents. If you have none of them, or if you got one of them, tell them you love them, especially your mom going past this Mother's Day. It's a blessing, man. Cherish it as long as you can. You don't know how many left you got, so that's a little morbid, but it's just the honest to God's truth for the folks out there. And I want to make sure, like I said, I love my mama. I love her very, very much.
You all appreciate it.
Yes, appreciate you, Ma.
Enough of this wholesome ass bullshit. We getting back to the show. Welcome back to the After Dark podcast, where we debate topics that are none of your business. It's your boy Mike. We got Big Stir above me like always, and we ready to jump into this shit. Sterling, before we start, man, has a draft lottery has it come out? Who got number 1 yet? It's about 8:23.
Hold up, I'm pulling up ESPN momentarily.
In case y'all don't know, man,
my other phone.
Sterling lives in Charlotte.
I swear to God.
And we're kind of hoping that Charlotte gets the number 1 pick. Wemby with LaMelo, easy money.
That would be lit. All right, it's live right now, but it hasn't no. There's been no news about it. Like there's no news about it, but we already know who the number 1 overall pick is going to be, and that's Wemby. And I'm not going to pronounce it.
The Hornets are in the top 4 at least. They got 14 through 5. Fingers crossed,
I'm telling you right now. So what?
I said fingers crossed, baby. Fingers crossed. But we are going to.
But.
No, what were you saying?
No, I was going to say at the end of the day, for the folks out there, if you don't know, it is abysmal at Spectrum Center. We need entertainment. Our football team sucks. Our soccer team sucks. Our baseball team sucks. Our basketball team sucks. I mean, our freaking minor league hockey team sucks. There's nothing good in sports around here. We need something. We just got the number 1 overall pick in football. We're probably going to be decent this year. But I need a combo year where we're good at 2 sports, not just 1.
Yeah, well, we'll see how that works out for you. But we about to jump into the show, guys. We're going to start off with one of our most reoccurring topics, and that is music, because music always gives us new news. Music is part of the culture, and we are a culture-driven podcast, so we are going to speak of it. In case you have not heard, VERZUZ has announced its next big event. yes, the same verses that was going on during COVID. It was took the world by storm, giving us a bunch of throwbacks for some of the artists that we loved in the past, versus them up with somebody else equal caliber to see who had the best hits. It was absolutely, it helped everybody get through. I know it helped me get through COVID. Those are some big time events. One of my favorite was probably 2 Chainz and Rick Ross, and I also fucked with the Jeezy versus Gucci Mane. That one was something else. But we got a big star-studded event, and they said that, they were taking their time because they had a big event coming. And this one's going to be held in Madison Square Garden, so they're bringing out the stars. It is a producer versus P. Diddy versus Jermaine Dupree. A battle of, they're going to have 2 separate battles. It's going to be a rap battle and an R&B battle. So I guess we can break it down on Sterling, who you think will have the better rap catalog, and then who you think will have the better R&B catalog, and just who you giving the win overall.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like, I obviously have both phenomenal producers. At the end of the day, I don't want to discredit either one of them. Jermaine, obviously hailing from North Carolina, go Tar Heel State, and with Diddy, obviously from the northern part of the country, not North Carolina. And on my end, on the rap side, I feel as if Jermaine has a bit of it, or sorry, I apologize. Diddy has a bit of an advantage here, just in the regards to what I see from my end. It's not to say I don't have faith Jermaine's going to show up and he's going to show out with the things that he's already put out and shake some things up. But at the end of the day, Diddy is one of the smoothest. Like, the way he raps is so unique because he comes from that cloth of like the 90s, that different type of flow where a lot of people, that's where people were differentiating themselves a lot, moving into the Spurs. Fuck.
Spurs,
and
God damn it.
Oh, man.
Another fucking Spurs dynasty on the cusp for Popovich.
Yeah, I know, bro. I know, another big man. But back to what I was saying. I think in terms of the rap catalog, I believe that Diddy's going to hold his own and not step over Jermaine. I think it will be relatively close, but it'll, like I said, relatively. It won't be a disrespectful manner, but it'll be like pretty clear cut on who's going to be better on that side. If I want to talk about R&B, I think Jermaine's going to hold it down on that end. I think Jermaine's catalog on the R&B side is going to be, once again, it's going to be stronger than, once again, a clear-cut difference. Not a fucking smashing, but a clear-cut difference between the two. And at the end of the day, in terms of overall, I can't sit here and say that Jermaine's going to overtake Diddy overall because they're both phenomenal. But we're talking about Puff. Even though Puff is into some weird shit, but Puff, we talking about Puff Daddy. Like, it's hard for me to sit here and say, yeah, Jermaine Dupri is going to take down Puff Daddy over, or P. Diddy over, in a versus battle, in terms of battle of producers and having those types of sections. Like, Jermaine will get his place to shine, but on my end of things, I just think Diddy is going to be able to hold his own. I mean, there's a reason the guy became a billionaire. It's not just because he's obviously one of the greatest producers of all time, but it is the fact that he was putting out good shit consistently all the time. And that's where he's going to be able to separate himself between himself and Jermaine. I don't know what your thoughts on it. You might think the exact same. You might have the same, honestly, the exact same, where rap is going to go to Diddy, R&B to Dupree, overall going to go to Diddy, just out of pure respect and the fact that his catalog is overall better, in my opinion.
Well, so I think that already from the jump, it's kind of set at a disadvantage by being held in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah,
Diddy. Yeah, it's in Diddy's hometown. Jermaine Dupri is obviously a Southern boy, and he made his grounds in Atlanta, and so it's, to me this is kind of like
Columbia Records, baby.
Yeah, to me this is kind of like Atlanta versus New York, which is like the old pinnacle, the birth of rap, versus the new kids from the block. And I'm always team South over the North when it comes to rap. I think South brought, I think the North started everything. They had a culture. They laid the blueprint and the foundation. But I think South brought all the flavor, all the tunes, and South brought the mainstream love. Like South is holding it down, and Atlanta's just absolutely holding it down. So where are we going to go? Well, when it comes to rap, I kind of have to agree with you on the rap front just because, you know, Diddy has Biggie. And I think on Biggie's catalog alone, like just the nostalgia, where everyone holds Biggie at and just the hits and the timeless hits, there's absolutely, it's going to be a hard out when he starts pulling out anything from his Biggie bag. His Wendy's 4 for $4 Biggie bag.
Biggie bag. Call it Wendy's.
Wendy's 4 for $4 Biggie bag. You can't beat it. And then shoot, P. Diddy's got some good songs on his own too. When you really think about it, some good rap songs. You know, he was one of the 100%. First producers to put his face in a music video and, you know, rap. You know, he wanted to be a star too. He didn't want to just be a producer. It is what it is. And I'm going to agree with you on the R&B front. Jermaine Dupree has absolute legends he could pull from. But this is where I'm going to disagree. I think Jermaine Dupree is swiping up. I'm not going to say swiping up. Let me chill out. But Jermaine Dupree's going to win. He's going to win overall. Jermaine Dupree has legends on legends. And I'm talking about, I know Diddy's got P. Diddy. I know P. Diddy's got fucking Biggie and all that and whatnot. But when it comes to, I'm telling you, when it comes to pop R&B stars, those slaps will always hit different compared to rap slaps. I'm telling you right now, rap timeless hits aren't as timeless as Usher and Mariah Carey hits. When those hits come on, everybody's singing and dancing. Yo, grandma's singing and dancing. Hey, everyone's gonna be singing and dancing. Literally, there's no way you're beating R&B pop hits. Plus, not to mention, like, Jermaine Dupree's got good rap slaps too, and he's got the beginning of Bow Wow's catalog. And I think people sleep on, you know, the cusp of Bow Wow's catalog. He was literally one of the biggest stars out. He was the one and probably the only kid rapper that really holds some weight in the game. He was a protege of Snoop Dogg, and he came from Snoop Dogg. So, you know, I'm gonna go with Jermaine Dupree. That's what I'm doing.
Well, I mean, obviously we disagree on this regard. I mean, I get where you're coming from because, I mean, I feel you to a degree on the idea that R&B's are class. I mean, like the way that they like continue to have the years and years of time and they can go against the test of time a lot better than a lot of rap. Granted, it's not to sit here and say that Diddy's like R&B catalog is weak necessarily, but you did already mention, I mean, like I said, I mean, rap, like, what do you think when we talk about producing? Like, just being honest, we think about hip hop most of the time, right? Like, we don't think about R&B producers. We don't think about, honestly, we don't even think about pop producers, right? I mean, just being honest, you agree?
I mean, yeah, just because, you know, we don't know any R&B or pop producers. The rap producers are the ones that hold the name.
That's my point. And so when it does come to forth, it's obviously gonna be a lot based on also what they bring to the table, because it's all about strategy, to be frank. Like, you gotta be able to match their energy.
For sure. Yeah.
Diddy's gonna bring out a shit ton of Biggie. He's gonna bring out a shit ton of Biggie. It's just it doesn't make sense not to. You're in New York, you know damn well everybody's about to fucking vibe to the shit. You're in your hometown, you're in MSG, and everybody's fucking with it. Everybody, well, see, no matter what.
Where I'll go, I honestly think that, you know, the point that you brought up about where you think about producers, I think that works in Jermaine Dupree's favor. So hear me out. Because we don't think of producers in R&B, pop type songs, what happens is we are never really familiar with their catalog. When it comes to rap producers, Metro Boomin, when Metro Boomin comes up and he does a versus battle later on in his career, we know what songs we gonna want from him. We know what songs we gonna expect from that dude. You know, if Metro make it boom. But when it comes to Jermaine Dupree, where he's gonna get a lot of people and where he's gonna fucking steal votes from P. Diddy is we gonna be like, we don't know what songs we're gonna hear from him. And as soon as he pulls a slapper out that you didn't know was Jermaine Dupree, but oh shit, he got that song. When he starts putting, we belong together, don't baby, no. And then everyone's gonna be like, oh wait, that's Jermaine Dupree song. And then you're gonna be like, I forgot about that. That's a slap. We all expecting P. Diddy's hits. So we sitting here, we're waiting on him like, okay, he played that one. Okay, we played that one. Jermaine Dupree's got the surprise factor in his whole front. So every time he drops something, every time he plays something, we on the edge of our seat just like, oh, what song's he about to pull out? And he can just hit us with the, oh shit, I didn't even know he had that in that bag. I haven't heard this song in a minute, and just take us through a nostalgic time that we weren't even expecting to get into. So I think it could work in Jermaine Dupree's favor.
And like, I mean, obviously you've got some R. Kelly mixed with P. Diddy's side of the R&B, and you've got, a few other artists mixed in there as well. I mean, but like it is like I said, I agree that Jermaine Dupree's R&B catalog is dry. It's an issue of P. Diddy and Jermaine Dupree aren't going to be able to really have a great, probably an all-time versus battle. And it's like I said, they're not gonna step on each other's throats. It's not gonna be nothing crazy like that where it's like, oh yeah, fucking P. Diddy sucked. Like Jermaine Dupree just blew his ass out of the water, or blew his ass, huh? But yeah, I had to chill with that. I literally typed in P. Diddy earlier. I was like just trying to pull up some of his discography to continue to go down it, because there is a lot of stuff that I know by Diddy, or Diddy was a part of, but there's also a lot of stuff that I don't know still, because it's like I don't sit here and listen to P. Diddy all day, all the time. There's stuff that it's the same ideology, man. Because we forget that just like Jermaine Dupree, P. Diddy's behind a lot of shit. Like a lot of shit. And it's up to him how he wants to strategize. I think it's at the end of the day, it's going to come down to whoever puts together the best presentation of their catalog, not the catalog.
Well,
it's the best presentation.
And we also got to remember, they're producers, so they're not going to be performing. They're going to be bringing out stars. Now, P. Diddy, what can work in his favor is he probably got way more people in his pocket that, like, if P. Diddy calls you and say, hey, you coming to Madison Square Garden, them niggas coming. You know what I'm saying? So he probably has more people in his pocket, but
them niggas are coming.
But some of P. Diddy's most legendary ones can't come nowhere. I'm sorry, they ain't coming. They ain't coming. R.I.P. But they ain't coming nowhere. And fucking Jermaine Dupree, his legends are still out here breathing and kicking and fucking riding on skates in the Vegas residency every weekend for his fucking concerts. So when Usher comes out there in some rollerblades, Mariah Carey come out there looking like $1 million, and Nick Cannon drooling, wishing he can make a few more babies, everybody gonna be like, oh shit, they're not even gonna know.
I can't wait for it. I mean, personally, I can't wait for it to happen. I think it's going to be, like I said, I definitely think it's going to be an all-time versus battle as long as they continue to do these as time goes on. Just because it is obviously a battle of two legends, people that obviously have a ton of respect in the hip-hop community. Like, these are top G type guys where, like, I'm not going to fuck with, nobody fucked with Diddy. Like, even after the gay, like, new shit. Nobody fucks with him. Like, nobody's going to fuck with him. Or nobody's gonna fuck with him. And Jermaine Dupree, like you said, he's got that respect of the South, but he's got the respect of the industry. And it's gonna be a tough one, but like at the end of the day, man, I think it's gonna be fantastic. I'll still stand on the fact that I think Diddy is gonna come out on top, but it's gonna be close. It's gonna be fun. I know it's gonna be freaking fun as hell. But for those that get tickets there, God bless. Like, you are like. you are about to experience a masterpiece, probably like literally like in front of your face. It's a double concert essentially. But speaking of versus one another, the rap game, just music, because we love music around here on the After Dark podcast. NBA YoungBoy and Lil Durk. So I mean, dude, before I even get into the topic, these niggas they got too much time. They got too much fucking time. Like, so they've been beefing over Twitter, and it's about basically who would have had the best album. Durk eventually obviously postpones his album drop, but delivers the single with J. Cole that he also got bodied on, by the way. And YoungBoy dropped the album with Lil Durk, with a Lil Durk diss track, and Fuck the Industry Part 2. That's a single though.
Yeah.
But between NBA YoungBoy and Lil Durk, speaking of like, I mean, you asking who you got, but like, if we talking about a fight, it's one thing. But if we talking about music, it's another.
We talking music.
Actually, it honestly might be
a better
both
topic.
Say what?
So we talking music, but fight might be just as good of a topic. Shit.
Well, that's what I'm saying. At the end, and you know how Lil Durk slides. Like, that's a whole different can of worms. We will open that up a whole nother day. But I mean, who you got at the end of the day, Mike? And I mean, the Twitter beef is Twitter beef. You know what it is. But like with Durk in the current situation and YoungBoy obviously doing his shit and making sure this nigga knows, like, I don't fuck with you right now, at least. Who you got on the ends of things?
I mean, let's be honest, right? Lil Durk's obviously going to sell more music as opposed to YoungBoy. That's a given. You know what I'm saying? And he's probably going to have better quality music. But what we're really talking about is not the sales. It's not who had the better music. At the end of the day, they're beefing. So who came harder? That's how I'm looking at it. And you know, Lil Durk. Pause. Hey, yo.
Hey.
Yo, 6ix9ine into the fucking chat. Okay.
Yo.
So All My Life, Lil Durk drops the All My Life single. And let me tell you, I think that it is the first track that has ended the fucking 2023 drought of absolutely no music. Finally, a song that I fuck with that isn't AI Drake that came out. So I'm saying, like, it was good. I like it. He was talking about how he's trying to be better and whatnot. And he was all my life. Everyone's trying to paint a picture. And he's not trying to be that guy anymore. But fuck that shit, boy. You can't be beefing with somebody and drop some fucking charitable all my life. You got all the kids over there. Yeah, that's some pussy ass shit, bro. That's got to be the second single. You can't beef and postpone your album. YoungBoy wiped your fucking tail, son. Wiped your nose with that shit. YoungBoy came out crazy. He was fucking talking about how he's gonna put his boy's head on a pillow if he sees him, and went to and shot over to the clip of the bloody pillow when he got shot up. I was like, yo, this nigga is wild, son. So I mean, I think YoungBoy came harder. Shit. Pause again. I keep fucking that one up, yo. I think YoungBoy did his fucking thing with his drop. I mean, and I know the crazy thing about YoungBoy is too, I know that this was all spur of the moment. He just put these tracks together last minute just to be on some fucking fuck Durk shit. Durk's probably been working on his album for a hot minute. YoungBoy hasn't. This is the 4th drop this year already, I feel like, from YoungBoy, and people are still tuning in.
He's one of those folks. Yeah.
What's up?
No, I was gonna say he's one of those artists that like he's still like, and I'm gonna get to my answer too at one point, and I'll let you finish your point. But he's one of those artists where, like, you know, when like artists first come out, they start just dropping a bunch of shit over and over, like, and then they finally glow up and then they slow down a bit. Like NBA YoungBoy hit a peak. He hit a crazy peak. He's still got crazy fans out there. And I think, you know, I find it admirable, even though his music, I can't relate to it, but I do fuck with it. Like, he's always dropping new shit, trying to try new stuff, putting new lyrics out there. There's no reason to sit on your shit for 3 years unless you're fucking Drake, Travis Scott, like those type of niggas. You got to be those type of niggas to be somewhat acceptable to not be putting something out often. So I respect it, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
Nah, yeah. So I mean, I pretty much finished my point. I basically was just saying, YoungBoy, he went crazy. He, he stuck to the beef. If you're gonna beef, be about it. He's been about it. I remember the interview where YoungBoy said he was trying to clean up his act and he don't want to be on all that shit. I guess that all went out one ear, in one ear and out the other, because he's back out here on some bullshit. He called out Drake. He called out J. Cole. He called out everyone, son. He was coming for blood. And Durk, I don't think you want that, man. I really don't think you want them problems. So I'm going with YoungBoy.
He wants to get it back in blood. That's apparently what the boys over there said a while ago. My boy Pooh Shiesty. But Durk trying to hang with them, and that how that goes. But on my end of things, like one of the things about Lil Durk I hate. I absolutely, please don't fucking try to come and kill me for saying this. I swear to God. But one of the things I hate about Durk is that, like, and I hate to say this shit because it fucking sucks to say. Durk was one of those artists where, like, when he was coming up, I kind of fuck with on the low. Like, I wouldn't be like, hey, yo, check this guy's shit out. I'd be like kind of listening to him, seeing on his come up, And he was making good shit, like hard shit. Like that was kind of like who Durk is type shit. And now, if you notice, he's starting to just peak the mainstream shit. If you noticed, he's just like, oh, let me hit the mainstream shit. Let me make sure my shit's super mainstream. Because he is about selling his albums. And I ain't mad at nobody for getting their money. We always talk about it on the After Dark podcast. We don't give a fuck. I respect anybody getting their bread, bro. I ain't gonna stop nobody. But if you swear to God, if you swear on your mama, your dead homies, that you're a hood nigga, and you just let an NBA YoungBoy skinny small ass come after you and literally dick you down, no homo at all, put you in a body bag, and then sit there and say like, and then sit out. I mean, don't get me wrong, fire track with J. Cole. Like, and J. Cole, like I said, he bodied you and you admitted it on TV or on the internet that you got bodied because that's the problem with Durk now. Durk is having trouble, I think, putting together solo stuff consistently. And he needs somebody to be there like a J. Cole. When Nardo Wick was popping off for about 8 to 9 months, he's still doing his thing. I fuck with Nardo. Yeah. And these other guys, Lil Baby, all these dudes to kind of like coattail. Like he has to like catch on their coattail. And it's like, oh, Durk was on that track too. That shit was hard. Because you know how you be feeling when somebody has a hard track, right, Mike? Like you be like, oh shit, like Baby went hard on that shit. But like Drake kind of was riding his coattail, but his verse was still good. Like it wasn't like bad because subconsciously you can't think the whole song's bad, so you're like, oh fuck, he was good too. I've heard some songs with Durk and being on, especially when he's with Baby. Baby just comes in and just bodies him, and like he just
every single time. Those goddamn kids body his ass.
I'm just tired of the soft ass shit from that nigga because he should have slid for Vaughn. He swore he slid for Vaughn. All this is years in the making, and you're letting NBA YoungBoy. His name is NBA YoungBoy. He calls him himself that by Never Broke Again. Remember, it used to be Never Broke Again until he actually officially made it NBA YoungBoy. I just want to let it be known. And you're letting a guy that called himself Never Broke Again YoungBoy body you. You got to get it together, my boy. And you aren't winning in this moment, and you probably won't win. Yes, your track will sell more than probably fucking YoungBoy's whole album.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, you losing respect in the rap game, and you lose respect there, niggas don't want to fuck with you. That's it. Once they figure out you're riding their fucking coattails, they're like, oh, this nigga just riding along on my fucking back. Like, damn, get off my shit. Because it's getting heavy back here. So I mean, that's the least of my worries at this point. Like that nigga's an idiot, bro. Like he just doesn't he just became super soft, super fucking soft.
Yeah, I don't know what's good with Durk. I feel like I don't know, man. I like his music. I think his album's probably going to be good.
Yeah.
You know, he's going to bring like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
said,
it
he's
will
going to
be.
bring the people out. But as far as
Yeah.
starting to beef with YoungBoy, like if you're not going to address it, if you're not going to really be about that, like rap is built on the battles, you know, it's built on the beef, and you got to come. If you're going to start the beef, then you got to be about it, and you got to be about it in your music.
And
And
you gotta come.
like Doc said, don't play with your meat.
Oh my God, we are childish, bro. We are childish as fuck. I mean, let's just be honest, guys. Like for those listening out there, once again, we obviously appreciate y'all. Want to hear y'all's comments in the comment section and below on the YouTube. Want to hear your feedback via Instagram or through all the platforms that we have the audio version on. Want to hear you guys' comments of what you guys think. Who do you got? Because this is current meta type shit, and I want to figure out where everybody lies, especially in this particular situation. But in that regard, I want to talk about something that is, I don't know. It's kind of wild because everybody knows streaming services nowadays have kind of like taken over everything. Like, bro, like there's no reason to have cable. I told my mom the other day, I was like, bro, like get rid of this shit. You will save more money. Get it like not using cable. And she's like, might as well have cable when I've got the Wi-Fi as a combo. She's old.
Yeah,
Whatever.
the parents,
You know,
black
kids.
parents love the combo. We had a fucking
Yeah,
house
they love the
line
combination.
we got rid of our house line 2 years ago because they didn't want to get rid of it because it gives them a discount on the combo.
Like, bro, like nobody calls house phones no more. And don't get me wrong, house phone days were a whole different type of world. So those that didn't really get to genuinely experience that, if you got some younger folks that weren't able to experience, dude, it was crazy because the niggas could pop up on you at any time if you had multiple phones in the house and pop up right in your conversation. You wouldn't even know, bro.
Having to ask
You
the girl's parents, can I speak to them, everything on the phone? Like,
yeah, can I speak to so and so? Sure, I guess. And look, dad be in the other room. This nigga trying to hit on my daughter. Fucking weirdo. Like, I mean, I respect it. But back to, you know, kind of, we know streaming service nowadays have taken over everything. I mean, at one point, I know that I was spending easily probably $100 on like streaming services in total. Granted, I was like combo for my girlfriend and I in that situation. But either way, like in the sense that we know that is happening. So the NFL recently just officially signed a deal with Peacock to exclusively stream an NFL wildcard playoff game. So the question really is here for the folks out there, and obviously for you, Mike, yourself, and I, is this a step too far in the streaming world in terms of getting into what the only thing there's the only reason to have a TV aside from watching streaming services that isn't cable is to watch football or like sports? Is this a step too far for the streaming world, man?
yes, it's a step too fucking far. You want to know why it's a step too fucking far? It's not because you put it on a streaming service. It's because you put it on a streaming service that 5 fucking people have. And you did a playoff football game. If you're gonna do that, do a regular season. Put them fucking London games on Peacock that no one wakes up at 6:30 in the morning to watch. Like, what are you talking about? But if you're gonna put a wild card playoff game, imagine being like the Browns and you ain't seen your team in a playoff game and God knows when. And finally, they in a playoff game, and that bitch is on Peacock. Like, and you can't watch that shit. And you know they're going to get rid of their little 7-day free trial during that playoff game, too. So you're going to have
Hell
to.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Actually, if they're smart, they'll do like a 3-day trial.
I really just think the problem is that it's on Peacock. And like I said, if the Browns got a playoff team and you had to fucking, what are you going to do? You're just not going to be able to watch your team in the playoffs. You're just not going to be able. You're just going to have to, I'm thinking about me. Like, I won't have that. Like, what am I just not going to be able to watch that playoff game? That's some bullshit.
I mean, the thing about Peacock is that like you can pay for it. Like it's through like a cable thing. I'm pretty sure. or you can just buy it as a streaming offhand, which is what they're gonna do, I'm sure. And I'm not even mad at them for it. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, if we're being honest, the step that has to be taken at this point is we have to realize as a world and as a population that streaming, like I just mentioned, like there is no reason to have cable anymore. There's already no reason to. But why sit there and say like we can't have it on Peacock? Yes, like there's some other people out there that the combination might be the best fucking package for them. Just to be honest, they might got that combo and the Wi-Fi. That shit's like the fries and fucking burger type shit. Like
The biggie bag.
It's hard to beat. It's the biggie bag. It's hard to fucking beat, and it's for a good price. But I understand where Peacock's going or NBC is going with this because they're, like you said, nobody has Peacock but like 5 people, right? Like just like the random like motherfuckers that, oh yeah, I got Peacock too. Why? Like what's your reasoning? Unless you're watching soccer, which I respect if you are. I was watching it for a bit. I was watching on somebody else's account, but I was watching soccer. Like, I get it. But I get exactly why. And I don't think it's a step too far. Right? It's a step far. It's a little far. Like, but it's not too far. And the reason being is that the next thing you know, you're going to have streaming services basically handling all of, except for Monday Night Football and Sunday night game, like the prime times. Every other game that's not prime time, I guarantee you'll be up on a streaming service, whether that's Peacock, Paramount Plus, well, they probably won't get on HBO, but like it might shit. Hulu has live sports. They've been doing that shit for years though. Hulu's been doing that shit for years. We got live sports. You can watch whatever you want on fucking Hulu.
But it's not exclusive.
And that's why it is. Yes, it's not exclusive. I know. But it leads in the direction now where it's like Hulu could maybe go and do the same thing. And they're like, oh, we want a playoff game. And I'm sure that'd be next year. And they'll get a playoff game. I feel for the people that be like the Browns where they haven't been in a playoff game and blah, blah. Sorry, dog. Y'all are not making it with the Predator as your quarterback either. It's not happening. Shout out my sister. She calls him the Predator. That shit is actually funny.
That was a crazy fucking transition. You not winning with the Predator. Yeah. Shout out my sister. That's crazy.
That's fun.
No, but this is why it's a step too far. It's because, like you just said, Hulu's going to want one. Then Netflix is going to want one. And here's the thing, Sterling. Here's the thing. We forget that, like, me and you, we're in a bubble. We're 2 middle-class individuals, right? So that is not the norm. We're actually in a place of privilege. Most people can't afford to have Hulu, Peacock, and Netflix and HBO Max, Amazon Prime, or all the streaming services that are going to want to dip their toes and get a playoff game. And where are we going to if we're getting to a point where playoff football, playoff sports isn't just a common American thing that everyone can tune into and just watch at the most basic level? Because it used to be on basic television. You didn't even need Premiere cable or anything like that. It's just on basic television. If we get to this point where you're going to have to spend, well, those shits are going to go up $16 a month per service, and now we are spending even more than what we were spending on cable just to keep up with all this shit. I think this is detrimental. I mean, I know they got the bag. Peacock paid them $100 million to get this placement, but dude, like, do you want to sacrifice? You're going to get the bag regardless if you're NFL. Do you want to sacrifice all that for viewership? Viewership is what keeps the bag coming. If people stop watching, then, you know, the bag's going to dwindle. Peacock might come back around like, hey, we didn't get that many people watching, so we're going to give you $75 million this time. And then,
well, and being that Peacock is attached directly to NBC, if you guys don't understand why it's called Peacock, is because fucking NBC's logo is a fucking peacock. By the way, If you didn't know, now you know. And so I think thinking about this and being devil's advocate for myself and you in the same right while being in the same body as someone that's arguing it, it's the fact that the unfortunate part is they're gonna have the primetime game, wild card game. Oh, yeah. Because NBC always has the primetime game. Always. Al Michaels and freaking what's his face, Chris Collinsworth, or now I think it's Tony Romo. Like,
My boy.
who fucking knows? Get that boy. Get all the Cowboys off of fucking broadcasting anything because those guys are idiots. Keep it moving. Even you, Michael Irvin, on your fucking analyst shit, you're an idiot too.
Whoa.
And you weren't that damn good. And you weren't that damn good.
Oh, you tripping now? You hating? You hating?
And you weren't that good. Peyton made you. By the
Peyton?
way,
You mean
sorry,
Troy?
wrong. Troy, wrong team. I apologize. My brain has been scrambled. But either or, I want to let it be known that the unfortunate reality that we live in, and we've spoken about this in private and even on the podcast at points before, is that the economic state of the United States in particular, not any other country that watches it. Because the problem is that unless for other countries, like think about it, like think about the broad like view here. Like there's other countries out there, like there's people there that love football. Like not the fucking footsie football, like actual American football. And sometimes they can't watch these games. That's why they go to London. That's why they go to these other places to expose the game to more people so they can bring in better and more. So it's going to directly allow these people to actually be able to watch something they're literally never be able to watch unless they watch fucking highlights on YouTube or watch them illegally, where it's literally if you try to watch anything illegally on TikTok, it literally is up for like a minute at a time. You got to find a new TikTok. I'm just letting you know. So tried it a million times. Tried it with the last Floyd fight, and it was tragic. But I just think that it's a good thing and a bad thing. Like I see both sides, but in reality, like if we're talking about the exposure and the growth of the sport is continuing to grow. It is easily the most popular sport in the country by a lot. The NBA is becoming mundane, laissez-faire, very boring to watch for literally like the entire year until the last 2.5 months of the season. That's it. But people actually tune in to regular season football and it actually counts because it's got the smallest window of opportunity compared to all major sports, baseball, basketball, and I'll even include hockey in there because it is such a big portion. 17 games. But if I'm a guy that's in Europe and can't watch it, I'm sorry I'm going on a rant here, but like if I'm a guy in Europe and I love American football and I'm sure he probably plays soccer too, but he's like, man, I dream of playing in the NFL one day. And he just wants to watch his favorite fucking player. He has to go to fucking highlights to go find this man. Like how do you like get to really and that's the shit that sucks, but that's the reality we live in. And unfortunately, I understand that like it may not be affordable for everyone to afford all their streaming services. Then it just gets to a point where you got to prioritize. What do you really want to see? You want to see the playoffs every year on that one or two games, however many games they'll do eventually over time. I know it's only one game now, but it'll eventually become more. Like, would you rather have playoff football or would you rather have HBO Max where they can't upload any good shit unless it's Succession, Last of Us, or Game of Thrones back in the day? Like, or Sopranos. Like, there's no point. So I feel for the people that maybe not be in the financial position to do so and afford it consistently, but at the same time, you have to be willing to make for the things that you want, and that's how I feel about it. And I think it's great for the world, not just the United States. So that's my point, and I sit on it.
Fair enough with me.
Well, I mean, and we understand that, like, obviously, speaking of like sports and their teams, right? I mean, like sports teams, and then loving a player, right? Loving an idolized player in their generation, or by kids, or even by adults, right? Especially in cities that haven't had a winning team consistently for a long time. You know where I'm going with this, guys. Yeah, we all know. I mean, when it comes down to it, this man does it on Mother's Day. So I mean, this man John Morant is flashing a gun on Instagram Live again. Excuse me, I just had a hiccup. But some people are claiming, since guns are legal, if you do have the permit to carry them, and you've done what you got to do, your due diligence, he shouldn't have any punishments. So before I go into this, if you guys haven't seen the video of the Instagram live of the video, it's actually kind of low key funny as fuck because his boy's whipping the car, and he keeps flashing the phone at Ja. He keeps flashing it to him, and Ja doesn't have the gun in his hand at this point. Like, he's just like chilling, like they're just like, you know, being two bros and like just doing whatever, like vibing to some music. And then next thing you know, this nigga brings up the gun, and his man pulls the phone away so fast.
He's like, oh nah, this man wildin', bro. This nigga wild. Bro,
I was like, yo, there's no way. But that's aside from the point. That shit was just mad funny when I saw the video, like real time type shit. But the question, like I said, is, I mean, people are obviously claiming that guns are illegal, which they are in the United States. You have the right to bear arms, unless you are a felon or under special circumstances. And he shouldn't have a punishment based on the fact that they are legal, and I'm sure that he has the permits, etc., to carry one. Do you agree with this? And honestly, adding on a question to it, like, do you feel like the NBA needs to change some of their protocol on these types of things?
Well,
I'll hit it over to you, Mike.
Yeah, the wild part about it is, so first of all, everyone's blaming his friends, saying that like, oh, they're the ops for always recording. Let me tell you something. His friends do not want to see Ja Morant go down. They are on payroll for being this nigga's friend. You know what I'm saying? So this nigga is the ticket out for all these people. They do not want this. As soon as he saw that the gun was in his hand, he moved the phone away immediately because he was like, oh shit, if Ja Morant loses $194 million, how am I about to get this $100,000 salary for being Ja's friend? Because he a broke boy again. So trust me, they don't want to see this man go down. But when it comes down to should Ja Morant be held liable, should he be punished, I got to go with absolutely. Absolutely. I'm sorry. I do not want to sound like Michael Wilbon, who's over here like, my kids can't buy Ja Morant shoes anymore. That's some fucking Uncle Tom bullshit. What the fuck you mean your kids can't? You let them listen to rap, don't you? Your kids can't buy Ja Morant shoes? Get your stupid ass out of here. I ain't saying nothing like that. But all I'm saying is, yes, I understand guns are legal. So why is he getting in trouble that he's flashing a gun? Guess what? Newsflash. He's not getting in trouble with the law. So that's the problem right there. Guns are legal, yes. No one's saying lock Ja Morant up except for Aiden fucking Ross and his dumbass. He's saying lock him up, but no one who can really lock him up is saying to lock him up because guns are legal. But at the end of the day, you work for an employer that is paying you $194 million over 4 or 5 years, and you are one of the faces of the NBA, and you can't be seen flashing a gun around. I guarantee you, if I was flashing a gun around on my Instagram story and my manager followed me on Instagram, she'd probably have a problem with that. And I am not on the level of Ja Morant, nor do I make the money that Ja Morant does. So that is the issue. That's the issue there. You know, what are we talking about here? And should the NBA change its protocols? Hell fucking no. They got advertisements with big companies, with Disney. Disney owns ESPN and all that. You know, those are family brands. They're not going to mess up no family money for Ja Morant's stupid little Ja Wick stunt that he's trying to go on. It just doesn't make any sense. So I'm someone who believes that Ja Morant needs a big suspension, maybe half the year. I wouldn't be mad if they just told him he could not play next year because he just needs to.
That should be mad funny. I ain't gonna lie.
That'd be hilarious,
I ain't gonna
bro.
lie. That should be mad.
He needs a wake-up call.
I mean, like, think about it, man. Ja's what, 23, 24?
Something like that. I'm not sure off the top of my head.
Yeah. So, I mean, Ja, obviously one of the young faces in the NBA. Is it bugging?
You back?
Okay. I don't know what the fuck's going on, dude. This shit, like, I'm gonna get up my LAN cable to stretch over here next time, but yeah, we'll cut however it needs to be done. But yeah, so I mean, like, Ja's obviously a young face in the NBA. A lot of people love him. I mean, I like watching him like when he's not acting a fucking fool. And one thing I'm gonna say, I agree with you, right? I agree with the fact that like you are paid by somebody that's paying you. It's not like they're paying you $65K a year like a regular ass like diddly willy getting out of college or second year out of college type shit. Like, bro, you're getting paid $194 million, bro. And I'm telling you, less than 0.001% of the population will ever see that type of money in their life.
Facts.
In the world. Period. And it might be more zeros to add to that shit. And you want to go off and be it. Like, it's nothing wrong being a guy and having a little bit of fun. And, like, it'd be one, like, it wouldn't even be bad if it was like you were, like, maybe you're like a, Mike was a gambling guy. Like, that's not even like a big thing. It was a big thing because it was Mike, but it wasn't that big where he was
why
getting
you put
like
my business out there on okay.
No. I'm saying Mike Jordan.
Oh, I guess I snitched on myself.
Yo. Oh my god. Oh my god. No.
Oh shit.
But nah, man, like this kid is the face of the NBA right now, one of the young faces of the NBA, and I do enjoy watching him. He needs to be punished. And dude, give him a whole fucking year and tell him like, dog, you do this shit again, like we gonna void this contract because I'm sure there's some type of fucking line in there they could fucking take that damn money away. Because I don't know what the guaranteed amount is, but you only getting that and that's it, my G, and you're outie. And they were willing to take that because the amount of money the NBA is going to continue to make, even when he's gone, is still going to be a lot. And it doesn't matter. That's what he has to realize, that they don't need you, bro. They got Wimby or Wamby coming, or however you pronounce it. They got all types of superstars coming up the fucking ranks.
They don't need nobody that can't make it out the second round of the motherfucking playoffs. I guarantee you that.
Facts. Do something stupid when you make it a second round. Win a championship. So, and speaking to the employer point, I got my briefing email for my sales training next week down in Arkansas. And so they specifically put in the email, it's like 8 or 9 information steps, whatever. And it says, during your stay, we expect you to reflect blank company as a professional with appropriate behavior and respect towards all staff members of the blank hotel, local establishments you may visit, and all blank employees. Please remember that when out, you ultimately represent the blank brand, and issues such as rude and or entitled behavior, lack of regard for basic housekeeping and following establishment rules reflects poorly on the company. And if we find that you are acting inappropriately, we will not hesitate to send you home and release you from your position. Like, that's a dog. I'm not getting paid 194 mil. Like, I'm not that valuable. That's what I'm trying to say. And the NBA should never peel back. Because if you got niggas walking around with guns, when have you seen LeBron James with a gun?
Right.
When have you seen him with a gun? Ever. Like, when have you seen Steph Curry with a gun? When have you seen Jimmy Buckets with a gun? Jokic. Like, dude, I could just go down the list of superstars that are honestly smarter and honestly better than you. Fact. And you can't even act right. You can't even act right because you want to be hood and all this shit. We've already talked about this, bro. You are from the burbs. Like, is it not getting through your fucking skull? Like,
Come back
I took some time to
reflect on my bourbon black boys. It's okay to be one of us. It's nothing wrong with that. Come back, Jock.
Yes.
Back. We will accept you back to the suburbs.
Like, bro, do your thing. Do whatever you want to do. If you want to fucking blow one of the biggest bags, we literally had a topic said, do you think he's blowing the bag the first time he did it? And I'm like, I literally said this to my sister when we were talking about it. I was like, me and Mike and Chad at one point had spoke about this and literally said, I think he's blowing the bag, but as long as he doesn't do it again, we'll be good. Like, right? Like he's doing his time, taking a moment to think back. But it's like, damn, nigga, like you really don't care. You don't care. You literally is like ma on Mother's Day weekend, by the way, just going around rolling with guns and shit.
That's right. Hey,
Like,
this is
Mother's
a
Day
point for
weekend, shouldn't you
YoungBoy.
be?
This is a point for YoungBoy because this shows you the type of influence YoungBoy has that Lil Durk obviously don't have when they out here dropping music. YoungBoy got niggas out here throwing away $194 million. So I don't want to hear no Durk winning the battle against YoungBoy. That's dead. That's dead.
Nah, bro, and it's wild because look, I'm gonna be 100,000% with you. I said this straight up. I said, look, and this no offense to John Morant's dad. I'm just telling you the honest God's truth, my man. Talking to my father and myself about this stuff. I said, hey, dad, bro, you want to be this ghetto fabulous nigga? You want to act like this, that, and the other? You doing this to your own damn son. He ain't got really nothing to look forward to. I'm sure you were a good dad. I'm sure you did all that. But now he got money. Now, I know you seen him act at the games. You know, he be acting up right with him.
Yep.
And I'm like, what the fuck's your problem, dog? Like, you know this is wrong. Yeah, like, what do you do? Like, and Shannon Sharp's a big nigga. You're stepping to the wrong nigga, bro. Like, you will get your ass beat, and he will not care. And you know who's going to bail him out? Fox. They be like, yeah, thanks for beating that guy's ass. Keep him moving.
Yeah,
like,
we're going to put some barbecue sauce in the nigga's ribs.
Shout out Shannon Sharp. That shit's funny as fuck. That nigga is he's grown on me a ton over the past, probably 6 months since I started really getting back into watching stuff, but or sports stuff heavy. But I mean, I know it's a lecture, but like, dog, like as a dad, like John Morant's dad, you need to step up as a dad. I don't know if his mom's even in the pic. I don't fucking know. I don't know, and honestly, I don't fucking care. Just to be honest, it's not my mom. I care about my mom, and I care about mine. And I care about the image that I'm going to put off for my parents that are supposed to raise me the right way. You continuously like disrespect the fuck out of them by doing what you're doing. Like, it's just, that's how, like, my parents are old school. I'm sure if you were doing some shit like that, it's like, hell, like, your parents are like, damn, that's kind of disrespectful to us because we didn't raise you like that type shit. And, hey, man, all I'm going to say is if you want to throw away that bag, like, throw me some cash right before you throw it away because I'd really appreciate it. It'd be real nice. But, like, but I don't know if you have any final thoughts on Ja because that nigga's an idiot.
I'm basically just saying Ja, bro. What a waste.
Just sick of him, bro. Like, I'm honestly sick of him. Like, what a waste of fucking talent. This guy, look, got all the talent in the world, but just a damn idiot. He had, like, what's his face? He's Dennis Rodman, but less than Dennis Rodman, but he's this generation's version, but not as superstar. Like, Dennis Rodman didn't have that superstar power. He made himself a superstar by the antics that he did off the court, not on it all the time, because he was a great guy on the court, and then off it, he was an idiot. But I love Dennis Rodman. Mad respect for him, even though he crazy as fuck. Speaking of some controversial motherfuckers, and not necessarily the gun shit, but, you know, when I say the letter, when I have the initials TS, who do you think of in terms of the music industry? I think of the man Travis motherfucking Scott. This man says Utopia is on the way. Apparently he performed it like a short thing for the Astros this past weekend. So he was like talking about it and etc. so on and so forth. I looked into it a bit. If this nigga's lying again, bro, Travis, I cannot be one of your biggest fans no more because you are literally yanking my chain. Like, it's like you're holding the carrot in front of my face and been pulling this shit for like 3 years. Like, type shit. Like this shit. So, the question is, Utopia has been being produced for, I'm sure, a long ass time and been mastered, remixed, etc. to make it perfection. But do you think this could be another classic like we had with Astro World? Because that shit was a whole nother level of mastery. Or is Travis Scott the king of the new gen rappers? Because he really, realistically, he's been around for a minute, but he ain't like been around for as long as people realize. So I'll kick it off. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. I'll go and talk about it. You guys know I'm the biggest Travis Scott stan on the damn planet. I will back him even after he done killed them damn kids in the crowd. RIP. I do not condone that. Live Nation, you suck. That's your fault. I'm not putting any fault on Travis Scott because it's really hard to avoid those situations when it's overstaffed or overpacked, and I know how that shit works. And I literally saw it firsthand. I was just when I was at the festival the other weekend, I saw how fucking packed it is. But it was at a fucking speedway, so there was plenty of room. But in terms of the question, does he have another classic on the way? Yes, without a shadow of a doubt. The reason that Travis Scott has the ability to do this is, like I mentioned earlier, is that he drops hits that continue to have the replayability. Like how many Sicko Mode can get old because people played the absolute shit out of that damn song. I mean, that song was everywhere. But he has the ability to wait so long to drop albums and stuff is because he's not only that he drops classics, is that he stays involved throughout the time that he's not dropping songs. He puts out songs, like he did a song on Tenet. He has features on SZA's album, on all these, like on Metro's album. Like he makes himself relevant so you remember that he's there. Other dudes will just like, I'm going to go off the globe for 3 years and you're not going to hear from me. And then I'll be back, drop an album. It'd be mediocre, Frank Ocean. But sorry. Hey, my bad. Shit. I didn't mean to step on nobody's toes that were standing over Frank. You can't stand over that nigga no more after what he did. And do I think he's the king of the new gen? I wouldn't even consider the new gen, but I would definitely he's the king of anybody that's new, if you consider them new, because he has that type of influence and that type of power. Because I guarantee you, they're gonna have a massive ad all over Complex on fucking on Complex. If you guys don't follow Complex, shout out Complex on Instagram or Twitter. They will have that shit up and going. Like they will probably put a fucking countdown on the shit. I swear they will, because he has that very similar. He has that very similar influence to Drake. Not the exact influence, but very similar influence, where he has the ability to do that. I want to know your thoughts on it. I don't think there's any question in terms of is he going to drop another classic? Because if he doesn't, he's chalked. But I don't think he would make us wait this long for us not to hear fucking gold.
I'm going to have to agree with you, to be honest, on this one. I feel like, for me, has Travis ever dropped anything that really wasn't a classic? For me, all his albums are pretty much damn near classics, if not on the cusp of it. So, I'm gonna have to agree on that point. But the interesting thing for me, what really stood out is Travis Scott really has a chance of taking the crown of, the next gen rappers. And the reason why I consider Travis Scott a next gen rapper is I consider anyone who, is not Kanye, J. Cole, Kendrick, Drake. Those are the next gen crowned rapper, or this generation crowned rappers right now. And who's going to take the throne from them? Who will inherit the throne? And I think Travis Scott has an ability to separate himself from the crowd. And the reason why I think that, I wanted to give that to Lil Baby, but I have my skeptics on Lil Baby. He dropped another single, Going Hard. That shit was booty cheeks.
It was so bad.
So bad, bro. It sounded like everything he's dropping is like, damn, do not become the Baby. Do not have one flow. Hopefully Lil Baby can pick it back together and his next album can be something. But right now he's kind of on a decline, and it was looking like he was going to take the crown and run away from these niggas, but clearly he's not about to do that right now, or he didn't take his runway, so he left an opening for other people to do that. Uzi was somebody, as far as influence and stature, I think that, he was really big, could have taken the crown, but he hasn't came here soon. I heard that Pink Tape, the new album that's coming out, is fucking god tier, so we'll hear how that is. He's somebody who could really be on that next Mount Rushmore if he delivers another classic album, but it's really been a minute since Uzi's given us a classic album, so he's got to come back. But that's why I think that Travis Scott is in a place where if he can deliver another one, he's really in that rare air. He's kind of in that Kanye era, because if you really think about Travis, he's like ushered in a whole fucking kind of like a acid, dark, melodic rap type thing. And I know a lot of it derives from ASAP Rocky. His
Yep.
style kind of derives from ASAP
He
Rocky.
also I will say he does copy ASAP style, and they track that shit. It's actually disgusting how bad it is. But go back to your point. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, he definitely does that, but he also puts his own spin on it, and it's kind of unique to him. And ASAP's over here, he's modeling and whatnot, so he kind of left the lane open for Travis to take that sound and do whatever he wanted to do with it, because ASAP's not even making music like that. So Travis Scott has delivered time and time again. If he gives us another classic album, he's in that rarefied Kanye, Kendrick air where all his albums just hit different. They got a sound. They have a period in time where it really moved people. I remember, every time Travis dropped in college, like that was an era of college. A Travis Scott album was an era of college. So I'm excited for it. I know that he's got some crazy sounds that he's sitting on. I'm interested to hear what collabs he has on the album and just kind of what he's going to do. I like Travis Scott because he puts together full length projects. They're not playlist albums. There's a sound he's going for. There's something he's going for melodically for the album that keeps you tuned in from start to bottom. I think he's going to do it again, and hopefully we can get some new faces on the Mount Rushmore, and some of these rappers will be willing to take the crown, because it's been seeming like all of them don't want to do it. So let's go, Trav.
Yeah, I mean, if he's gonna do it, and it's hard to look at Travis because Travis made I think you're right. He did usher in some a different type of flow that's so very unique, sort of and kind of like Uzi, where Uzi comes in and he's got this. I don't know how to do it, but it's just fun. It's different. He was fun and different. Travis has got that, like you said, that dark, very different just sound. Nobody can truly resemble it, because Tyler the Creator had a dark sound, but it wasn't dark and melodic. It was dark. That was it. That before he obviously started doing more of his current stuff. And I think that I do think if he drops the ball on this album, which I don't think he will, because I guarantee he's gonna have a Drake feature up there. So that's already a single off the rip that's gonna go crazy. And he's gonna. I don't know the amount of money that Travis has been making. I know that he was doing some concerts and stuff, but it honestly depends on how much his boys, then people were asking for those features, because he'll pay top dollar to get the best features, because he does not fuck around when it comes to features. He will have good fucking features. That's where I understand that and it goes to the point I don't even want to. I consider Travis a rapper, yes, because he does rap, but also at the same time he's a rapper producer. It's just a singer songwriter in the R&B space or the country space or whatever, more melodic stuff.
Sterling, we don't
he's
speak
a
of country producer on the After Dark podcast, my brother.
No, I've got to mention it. It's a part of the music industry, and country can be cool sometimes. I don't listen to it all the time. It is cool, and y'all can hate me for it. I'm sorry. It is cool sometimes if you're just in a mood for it. But I think at the end of the day, he's got $1 billion baby mama bankrolling him, so he shouldn't have an issue throwing money at stuff. Even if he didn't have the bread to just throw 10 mil at a feature or something. I know some of these guys got crazy fees, 1 milli for a feature, 2, 3, 4 mil for a feature. I'm like, nigga, you said 20 words. But that's how it be. And, in that same vein, I love Travis Scott. I think it's going to be great. I'm excited for it when it does come out. And I'm excited for new music in general, man. The year has gone by really quick, but, summertime's always great. A lot of new stuff typically drops. People are excited. People are more willing to give new stuff a try. While I feel like in the colder months, people are just kind of like stuck in their own ways. Obviously, depression's really high because of just the cold in and of itself. So people don't want to listen to like banger type music. It's less of that, more of that sad boy type shit. And we don't like to be sad. So, I mean, yeah, man, I love Travis, and I think it's gonna be fucking fantastic. And if it isn't, Travis, I'm gonna be really hurt. I ain't gonna lie. But now it's time for the weekly Black React, people. Hit
Black
it.
React.
So at the end of the day, guys, we've got the red pill and the blue pill here today, guys. It's the one or the other. It's super simple. So the question is, would you rather restart your life at the age of 6 with all of the knowledge that we have currently, like you as a person? So you could be an 18-year-old with all the knowledge you got right now. You could be a 36-year-old, 50-year-old, 20, 25, 26-year-olds or 25-year-olds like us, and start your life back at 6 with the knowledge you've got right now. Or blue pill. First one was red pill. This one's the blue pill. Blue pill, $10 million cash. No repercussions, no nothing, no questions asked. So for me, I would most definitely, like, I pondered on it for a second, but then I was like, I'm pretty definitive about this. I would most definitely take the 10 milli. Why do you ask? Why would you say I take 10 milli? Actually, let me first get your answer, Mike, and then we can talk about it and see where we stand on this matter.
All right, so originally I was thinking $10 million, but I kind of had to go with all the knowledge I had at 6 years old. But where I put an asterisk next to it, it depends on if I am 6 years old in today's day and age, or do I get to go back in time and be 6 years old back when I was actually 6? If I get to go back in time and be 6 years old when I was actually 6, that is, to me, I'm doing that easily, because the opportunities of getting $10 million are endless. I invest in Apple, Google, Amazon, Bitcoin, all that bullshit. I'll get my $10 million, trust me. And plus the knowledge that I have of, how to move in this world and what's going to be big and how like I can get on top of things before other people do. So if that is the case, I am going back at 6 years old with the knowledge I have now, if that's the case.
Baby Mike popping off. And I see where you're coming from, and I agree with you to some regard on your points. But what I say, wouldn't you think, don't you believe in the butterfly effect?
I mean, I do believe in the butterfly effect. I also believe in, I'm gonna get rich as fuck effect.
He's like, if I'm gonna fuck up, you're like, if I'm gonna fuck up one thing, I'm gonna fuck up literally everything. Like, if I don't get this one right, I got about 15, 30 other companies I can fuck with. Yeah, I mean, I feel where you're coming from. My point is that, like, I've said this a number of times. 90% of the problems in my life are based around finances. If I have an issue, it's because I cannot afford it. I don't feel like spending that money or whatever it is. It's just what it is. I would know how to invest that money properly. Like, everybody asks, like, if you win the lottery, what would you do? Like, dude, there's nothing else to do but invest, spend on the things that you want, get that out of the way, and live like you normally do. Live below your means, or live at your means that you're at right now. Don't overspend. That's how I would feel about it. $10 million is a lot of money to get at one time. $10 million isn't a lot to get in a lifetime necessarily, in my eyes, personally, from what I see myself. But $10 million is a lot of money to get in a lump sum at a time without any questions asked. Like, niggas ain't gonna ask me like, "Oh, how'd you get $10 million?" Like, if somebody asked me that, I'd be like, "Yeah, like I had to do this." Like, nobody's gonna ask me that. So that's a win. And I think simply the only reason I have to disagree with your point is that I believe in the butterfly effect pretty heavily, which is I'm not big on, like, it's not technically a conspiracy, but like those types of things. And I know that, like, they're like the smallest changes can have the biggest effects. And I mean, like I said, I mean, I guess you're right. You could fucking like trial and error and literally just fucking run up like literally Apple, Amazon, Google, Twitter, fucking, I mean, OnlyFans. I mean, you could literally run up every goddamn idea has made billions. And shit, you could sign artists that are coming up. You know exactly where to go, exactly where they live. Like, I mean, yes, but the butterfly effect could be well on hand there. So I could see both sides.
Yeah, and I mean, also just kind of revisiting the old days and getting a chance to like kind of revisit those old memories and whatnot. That would be kind of cool too. And also I have the knowledge that I have now. So like, just imagine being a 6-year-old and knowing, you know, an alternative timeline of how you ended up. And so every decision you make, you're like, like, well, or you know how I used to eat back in the day. What if I was just like, nah, because I remember there was a point in time where I was Big Mike. I ain't trying to go through that no more. I remember how those days were. So you like kind of.
But what if it's? I mean, and speaking of alternative timeline, the way you said it at first, I was thinking like, oh, like even when you meet your friends at 6 years old, and like, and then you go to high school, like meeting me, like you would meet me, like as a 14-year-old kid, 13, 14-year-old kid, like, and you know how I ended up. Would that affect your day to day? Like, how do you respond to shit? Like, how do you like? Because you know everything. Like, you know, like, oh, like, still gonna be fine. This, like, that's a tough cookie, man. That's like, I know you have a lot of patience and a lot of discipline, but I mean, day in, day out, from 6 to the rest of your life, like.
Let's be honest, bro. If one of those fucking companies hit that all the knowledge I had and I fucking invested in that, I don't know how many of y'all I'd still be speaking to in that scenario. If I was fucking 10 years old on a fucking bag, yo, I would have been on some island.
Your mom be like, how does Michael know so much? Be like 7 years old, writing up fucking like, be like, yo, give me some stock options, bitch. Like, invest all your fucking money into Apple right now.
Yo, I'll be watching TV with my dad, and fucking Trump would be like, "You're fired," and be like, "Man, it's gonna be crazy when he's president." My dad's gonna be like, "What? He ain't never gonna be president." I'm like, "Yeah, all right, all right."
You don't even know. It's a funny ideology to think of. Cause I'm thinking of myself as a 6-year-old. Like, I used to play in the backyard, do all that stuff. Like, I do like feel you on the part. Like, honestly, just being a 6-year-old and being like actually like, cause you know you've heard the saying. It's like, you know, you wish you knew you were in the.
And youth is wasted on the young, so that's also.
Like, I was in the good days. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's a wholesome way of approaching it. Obviously, like, get your money too. Like, I'm about that, but that shit's funny as fuck. Like, baby Mike, or not baby, like 6-year-old Mike just sitting there like, yeah, that nigga wildin'. Like, and you just say those exact words to your dad.
6-year-old, all the other kids are playing with toys and shit. I got fucking 5 monitors watching stocks and shit. Just getting rich as fuck.
He'd be like, yep, hey, I'm gonna start DraftKings, by the way. What's that? Hey, I'm gonna get an online fucking sports betting site that's gonna make millions, guaranteed. Dad, put all your money in this shit after you get the money back from Apple.
Dad, I got a quick one. We can come up on a quick 50 mil. We gonna make rubber bands in the shape of animals. We gonna call them silly bands.
I'm telling you right now, that shit would actually be comedy. I think they've probably made some movies off of it, but like that particular concept of like yourself and putting yourself in the shoes and just be like, yep, it was me. I was 6 years old. I was 25 when I went back in time. Not even back in time, but I just went to 6-year-old me, knew all this shit, and I came up on the craziest bag you ever seen. I was the world's first trillionaire. I ran the 10 most successful businesses in the world. Like, fucking 20 years old, and like you ain't never had to fucking think about a payment for anything. You're like, yeah, just take it from the profit of Amazon. I don't know what we're talking about. even moving, like not even blink. But I mean, that's it for us, folks. That's some funny shit. Honestly, that's a good question too. I love it, and I hope you guys are liking the Black React. I will give credit to Mike on that. That was all his idea for the Black React and that segment, and I've genuinely enjoyed it. I know that it's something that I look forward to every single week, and we look forward to entertaining your folks every single week. Once again, I do want to hit on the remark. Once again, happy belated Mother's Day to maybe some moms out there that don't have their kids anymore. Just not to be morbid at all, but just being 100% with you, and wishing you the happiest of Mother's Days. And I know it's hard, but we love you. And like Mike said at the beginning of the pod, all mothers deserve to be loved and love their children, and their children should love them. So, and the sacrifice that you guys make. But that's gonna do it for us tonight. I know that Mike's my outro main, so I'm gonna let him hit it, and we were gonna roll.
Yeah, we gonna close it out. You already know how we do. For the fellas out there listening, listen, brother, they only want a 1% man, so you gotta quit your bitching and get your bread up. We telling you this every week. We're your motivation. Go get that extra job. Go do what you gotta do to be able to take it to that nice restaurant, my bro. And for the ladies out there listening, he don't want you. So you gotta move on, sweetie. But it's okay, because you're still beautiful and powerful and will always love you. It's the After Dark Podcast. Until next time.